welcome to the Easily Excitable podcast. My name is Topham. This week I'm going to be talking about the recently occurred G1, G1 number 28, which is a pro wrestling tournament carried out by New Japan Pro Wrestling, where they take two groups of their biggest stars and pit them in a round-robin competition over a month, and it's quite a grueling affair. They have relatively high-impact matches every other night if they're running multiple nights in a row, where they have two blocks of competitors, and they're all competing to try and be the winner of the tournament. This year, there was a bunch of high-profile competitors in New Japan. I'm going to name a few. I'm not going to remember all of their names, but you had people from the Bullet Club OG, so Tongaloa and Bad Luck Fale. You had some other Bullet Club members like Hangman Page. I'm trying to think of any others that spring out, part of the Elite right now. The Golden Elite, what are their names? Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. They're part of the Elite with the Young Bucks, but they didn't compete. They were generally around for some of the nights as well. And who else was there? There was Minoru Suzuki and Tomohiro Ishii and Kazuchika Okada and Hiroshi Tanahashi and a bunch of other amazing performers. There's a guy called Juice Robinson who I think went by the name CJ Gibson. That doesn't seem right. That's a guy from who's on Destiny podcast, Fire Team Chat. Anyway, someone who had a name along that line. And he was competing in WWE. He never had a good run there, but he's having an excellent run in New Japan, and it suits him way better than that appeared to. Then you had Toru Yano and a whole bunch of other people like Sonata and Evil as well, and Tetsuya Naito. And it was this 1 month long tournament where they had 18 big events, because there was 10 competitors in each block, A block and B block, and they had 10 competitors in each, so each person had 9 matches. So they had 9 matches over a month, but in the pre-show to each of the event matches, they were on their off nights, the wrestlers that are in the other block were competing in tag matches and multi-man matches to reduce the impact on them, but still get all of the performers out. And get more matches with them. That's one thing that New Japan does really well, actually. And so you had this tournament going on where there was a bunch of pro wrestlers giving their all to try and become the winner of the tournament. The winner of the tournament gets a headlining bout against the NJ New Japan Pro Wrestling heavyweight champion. They get a title match at a championship match at Wrestle Kingdom, which is the largest New Japan date on the calendar. It's always held on the 4th of July. G1's always held around August time, July-August time. And this was G1 number 28. This year, they had 4 champions. They had the never openweight champion Hiroki Goto, the New Japan Pro Wrestling US Championship holder Juice Robinson. They had the NJPW heavyweight champion Kenny Omega, and there was another champion in there. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, in Block B, that's where all those champions were. They also had some other people like Tomohiro Ishii. I saw him perform alongside a few others like Kazuchika Okada in the Strong Style Evolved event that went on here a few months ago. or maybe that was early July actually, or end of June. It was either end of June or early July. And Ishii impressed me then, and throughout this tournament, everyone's paying him to probably be the like. He was putting in the best performances and the consistently best performances against everyone that was in the group. And it was a rather fantastic tournament on the B block side. The A block side never really picked up much steam, but you did have Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada, who are arguably the best wrestlers in the world right now. Tanahashi's kind of like the old ace. He's been, I don't know, he's like 41. He's just about to be the star of a movie called My Dad is a Heel Wrestler, which I'm kind of hoping there's like a sub or a dub for, because it looks great. But G1 was like really, really interesting. I've never watched it before. I was expecting to see some good wrestling, but in fact I saw some of the best wrestling that's ever gone on. So Tanahashi was in A block and Ibushi was in B block. Ibushi's probably Ibushi is one of those wrestlers that I've known about for a long time. I saw him perform against El Generico, who's currently Sami Zayn in WWE, and two other people. I think it was Jigsaw. It might have been one of the Young Bucks. And they had like this fatal four-way, or this four-way elimination singles match in Chikara in like 2010 or 2009 or 2010, and there's like some of the most insane moves, but Ibushi's only got better since then, and he might be one of the best wrestlers in the world. He just has the most insane moves, and he just has the capability to do things that no one else seems to be able to do. Anyway, Ibushi and Tanahashi made it to the final, and they slogged it out for like this 36-minute match. And eventually a winner was declared, and it was just the most, like, the crowd was really into it, and I was watching it. I was like, yes, this is exactly what pro wrestling is. This is what pro wrestling should be. And it was just a fantastic tournament to watch. It was challenging to watch that much wrestling though, because you have like an hour and a half pre-card and then an hour and a half of wrestling in these block matches each night, and you have 18 of those before you get to the final night of the competition. In 1 month you've got like 12 days off over 30, and it gets quite challenging to keep up with, 18 threes. I'm just trying to do quick maths. 36, 54 hours. 54 hours of wrestling content in a month from one company, and like trying to keep up on top of anything else is quite the challenge. But yeah, it was a bloody good tournament. I wish it was kind of spread out a little more, but yeah, it was a really, really good tournament, and like the way it panned out, because of course pro wrestling's booked, you know who's going to be going over and you don't know who's going to be going over, but the way it's booked, they like things progress, and like anyone that wins against a champion as well, like should be in line for a title shot. So one of the best matches of the tournament was Tomohiro Ishii versus anyone, but his match against Omega was excellent, and we're going to get another version of that at the September event that they're putting on. So we get to see another version of that match, which is going to be again excellent, and it's just one of those things. I'm looking forward to that match. It's going to be a good match. I felt like I've gone on about the G1 for a long time. It's run by New Japan Pro Wrestling. They featured 20 wrestlers, and they had some of the most insane matches I've ever seen. There was also a lot of interference from like the Bullet Club OG or Guerrillas of Destiny. Like they're kind of like, that's like Bad Luck Fale and Tamatonga or Tongaloa. And like, yeah, there was too much interference in their matches, and they just wasn't worth watching any of their matches. So most of them I skipped, but it led to some interesting storytelling throughout the tournament. But yeah, New Japan have an excellent time booking at the moment. I've got some more ideas that I want to talk about on pro wrestling, but yeah, Thank you, everyone, for listening. My name is Topham. This is the Easily Excitable podcast. This is, I don't know, you can find me across the internet at Ether4 Story Topham. So thank you very much for listening. Have an exciting day. Goodbye.